All right, you want to fight crime? Let's get dangerous.
And yes, it is. It is showtime once again. And tonight's episode will make you really much feel like, why? Because we're going to talk about some books. We're going to look at some books. And this is all about books and your choices here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get things underway by getting the business half of stuff out the way here, such as stupid o'clock happening 1 hour into the show. If we go into a second hour, that is then followed up by Last Man Standing at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then you get that respite until Monday morning, where you have Nicholas Tockard and Nevermind the Furthermore at 10 a.m. Eastern. And let us not forget about Comic Book Spectrum, Thursday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I forgot what we're going to do on Comic Book Spectrum, but we're going to be talking about some comics. We're going to be talking about some nostalgic cartoons. We're going to be talking about television and anything that's geek culture related. But on a brighter note, let's go ahead and get things started here with the Bookapalooza by starting off with new comic book pickups for the week here. Hopefully people will start coming in here shortly, because like I said, this is one of those episodes where you, the audience, have more of a say than anything else here. So we do have a small stack of books here that came in this week, and most of it is of a comic book title series that I've been trying to collect for a long period of time. And now, since I have a good stack of them, we're going to get started here. Hey, hi, how's it going, Charles? Welcome on in here. We're about to get ready to start with new comic book pickups for the week, which is starting off with Whisper #1, Volume 1, and Whisper #2, Volume 1. And yes, Volume 1 of Whisper by Capital Comics was only 2 issues here. So it's only 2 issues, so I got the full run of that here. And then it went over to First Comics, so we're going to start off by the one-shot special here, which is this Whisper #1, which is a one-shot special. Nice and pretty. And then we're going to get into Volume 2 by First Comics, and we got a whole bunch of them. Not necessarily a full run, but we're piecing it together here. So we're going to start off with issue #3. Let me get the glare out of there before you can see it. There you go. Issue #3. Issue #8. Issue #9, issue 11, issue 13, issue 15, issue 17, issue 20, issue 21, issue 22, issue 24, and issue 28 here. Well, that number floats from time to time here. We get as high as maybe like 20 or so, and then it drops down to maybe about like 10, then it goes down to 5, then it goes back up to like 13. So yeah, it was that many people up in here at one given point in time here. Most of people, love seeing new comic book pickups for the week here. So that's the reason I always start off with that first on this show here. So that was all the whispers here. And then I got another complete set of Mr. Miracle Source of Freedom. So we got from Mr. Miracle Source of Freedom from that miniseries, we have the full set of issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, issue 4, issue 5, and issue number 6. So that is the full set of Mr. Miracle here. And then one of the books that I really, 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 really enjoy here. And this is a good pickup here. And this is the very first appearance of Red Sonja in Conan number 23. So yes, that I have a Conan 23 now. So I finally got myself a copy of the first appearance of Red Sonja here. And then we knocking off one of the books that's in our collector's update here. This is Spider-Woman number 7 from volume 8. That knocks one of those books off of that checklist here. We end up getting another copy of Wonder Woman number 9 from volume 2. This is the very first appearance of Cheetah in Wonder Woman issue number 9. And then we got the classic George Perez Wonder Woman number 1. This is a first printing here. It is pretty nice. This might be going to get graded here. And last but not least, another book that knocks another book off of the checklist here. We got from volume 1, Wonder Woman 148 here. Now, one of the things that I have to double check here is that on one of the notes that came with the book, they said that was color touch done on this book. So I have to double check it to see if there is color touch or not here. But it is a pretty decent copy, other than for what's going on right up there. If I could, yeah, you can see it there clearly. Outside of that right there, it is a pretty decent copy of Wonder Woman 148 from volume 1. And that is new comic book pickups for the week here. I hope that you guys enjoy it, which means that it brings us to if I could say, the updates for the week here. And I'm happy to say a few things here. Well, unfortunately, with Film Force, we haven't gone after the last 50 or so in the 100s as of yet. As far as Uncanny X-Men, I need to fix this here. I'm missing issues from volume 6, issues 2 through 20, if I'm correct here, because I just checked with my with the guys at the LCS that pulls my books here. The last 2 books that they pulled was 21 and 22. So I know it's 1 through 26, so I have to update that here. And then nothing new from anything that spawned from the 1991 series. And Mr. Miracle, no change there. I've still missed. I have, I believe, either a 19 or a 23 coming in soon. So that might end up changing very, very soon here. But when it comes to Wonder Woman, we are now having everything from issue 147 to the present. And our magic number is now 108 to complete volume 1. And as I stated before, we also have issue number 7 now. So that means that we're only missing issue number 5 from volume 8. And then we will have everything from volume 8. So more updates on the way as far as those major collections are concerned here. As far as the production of my creator-owned stuff, like you see behind me here, I've been working on another anthological story for Legends of the Giantess Slayer. I've been still sketching in the sketchbook here. So we still got newer sketches to go in the sketchbook. And I found some of my older sketchbooks here before I could go back and revisit things that I have done before from back in like 2022 through 23, 24, I believe here. And then I actually found some actual artwork and everything for the second story arc for Amazonia in this sketchbook here, which I'm not going to show you. But the key thing that I'm impressed that I found again was my actual drafting pencil that I love drawing with here. So I was able to track that down. So that is the, if I could say, the creator update that I have here. More about C2E2 on a later episode here. I'm not going to talk about that until we get closer and closer to C2E2, or at least we have everything finally finalized for C2E2 here. But now it's time for you guys to kind of help me out, because we are going to talk about, and we're going to make certain that we get in the right mood, because it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to be suffering some
emotional damage,
because we're about to get ready to pick some books to send to CGC here. Now, the major thing that I'm looking at is these are books that I'm trying to preserve more so than trying to get the biggest bang for the buck to put on the secondary market. I'm not really much on reselling here, but I am one for preservation. So there is books that I am looking at per se, and I got a Sterlite bin full of books, plus 2 that we actually saw already here. So what we're going to do, we're going to try to narrow down some of these books here to see which one's about to get ready to go right around C2E2 time here. So as we stated before, we got the Wonder Woman 1, the George Perez Wonder Woman 1 here. This one is a nicer one here. I believe my goal with this here is to get as close to a 9.8 as possible. I believe I have like an 8.5 already graded, and then I have like a 6.5. So I'm trying to get like something like a, above a 9, and I'll be happy here. First Red Sonja is going to go sometime soon. I just don't know when. But let me go ahead and open up the Sterlite bin of books, where we could go ahead and start talking about what should go and what shouldn't go. Such as, now I'm going to surprise people here. I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, but I do have still in polybag a Spider-Man #1. Both of these are still in the polybags, so 2 still in the polybags. I have this silver one. I have 2 of those, so I might end up seeing, well, actually 3. I lied. But I only have 1 of the bronze one. So my actual goal was just like I wanted to send 1 of each, but I have to like really pay attention to which one is the better ones to send, for I could at least get as high of a grade as possible here. So I'm just letting you guys know that is up there, on the list here. And then one of my favorite Spider-Man stories, which is 248, the kid who collects Spider-Man. If you haven't read this issue, it is a tearjerker. It's one of the reasons why I want to preserve a good copy of this issue here. Then I have 2 copies of Film Force #1. I believe that the other one that I got somewhere, because I see like a little bitty tick right there on the black here. So the other Film Force 1 I got is a 9, I think. It's either an 8.5 or a 9. So again, I'm just trying to get something that's above a 9 here. More books that we got that could be going here, and like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff that I'm thinking about here. We have a Scotty Young Storm #1 that could be put off for a later date here. The Female Furies #1. Now this one, I'm not sorry if I have to clean up a little bit more, but we got that here. Not something that is like overly urgent, but I still want to get that done. We got a Ren and Stimpy #1. Not something that is like something that I really need to get done right away. Plus, the first Powdered Toast Man in comics here, if you ever follow the Ren and Stimpy cartoon series. So I do have first Powdered Toast Man. Then we have like things such as like Daredevil #2, you know, both the trade dress and version variant. Trying to get the glare out of it. So we do have that here. And then I do have, I forgot which one is this one here. This is another Daredevil issue. I forgot which one that one is. And then I got two different versions of Batman Catwoman #1. We got the, I forgot who did this one, the David Finch cover. And then we also got the Bruce Timms. So one of these might end up going here. So again, I want you guys to make, you know, comments to, you know, to kind of help me narrow down these choices here. We have Nubia and the Amazons #1, not really on the upper echelons on my must send, but it definitely will have to get one done. We do have a Scotty Young Black Panther 1 and a Scotty Young Black Panther #2, not on the upper echelon, but will eventually go. We got Bombshells United #1 that I would like to send, but again, I'm kind of putting it out there as like, you know, kind of for you guys to give me a little bit more guidance here. Then we got a Catwoman 0 from New 52. However, that doesn't replace this one here, which is Volume 2 #1, which is the embossed cover here. And then we got New 52 #1. I believe this is the first printing because that's purple. And then we got the Volume 5 #1 right there. And then I have a nice little pretty old school book, which I believe is actually probably going to move its way up the charts here. A little bit of color break right there on the side here, but there it is, Doom Patrol 121, which is technically the last issue of the first run of Doom Patrol, because this is the issue that everybody technically dies here. And I say technically dies because they did bring back a lot of the characters later on in later runs of Doom Patrol, but in the original, they all died. And this was the key issue where they died at here. And then we got A-Force here. We got the A-Force A cover from the original run here, plus a couple of Scotty Young, plus a couple of Scotty Young variants of that A-Force 1 from the first run. And then the A-Force #1 from Volume 2. So we got all of those here. So like I said, it's not an easy thing to pick and choose what stuff is going to go to getting graded right away here. And then we got some Wonder Woman books here. So yeah, I might end up sending this one after I clean it a little bit more, and hopefully a press does it wonders. I got another Wonder Woman 206, which is Third Nubia, which I'm thinking about. And then another copy of 329, which is the last issue of Volume 1. I didn't send out the 606 as of yet, so I've been holding off on that. I have Legend of Wonder Woman that I wanted to send off here. And then I got a couple of copies of the Dodson run. I believe that is Volume 3. I believe I already have either like a 9.4 or 9.6 of this one here. Matter of fact, let me check. Because if I already got something that's already high grade, it bumps it down the list here where it's just not as important because I'm not trying to sell off anything here. So according to my ZOZ here, going to the Wonder Woman's, which is right out here. Wonder Woman Volume 3. Okay, so the 9.2 is of the variant, and I do have a 9.8 of this. So this one here is low in priority at this point here. And then I got another copy of the New 52. The New 52 one. The New 52 one, I have that at a 9.0. Well, the first print is a 9.0. The second print I have a 9.8 of. So the first print I probably would need to make certain that that is greater than a 9.0 before I send it here. And then we got Volume 5. Volume 5, number 1, I have that at a 9.2. And the Frank Cho variant is a 9.4. So I have to make certain that this one is greater than a 9.2. And then this, I'm going to also send the second print just to be able to have it here. And we got more comments here. Again, why? Because I can. Like I said, this is more for preservation purposes, not for secondary market purposes. This is not going, to be like, oh, I got agree to put on like eBay or this is just for my PC and trying to, preserve the ones that I need to preserve here. So, this is kind of like one of those things where it's just like, oh, I have the extra money to get them graded. Let me figure out what needs to go right away and what could be, I could hold off on until, it's just like really like extra money that I don't even really not going to miss. And it's just like discretionary money that I could like, okay, I could fart, an extra, $40 to $50 to get that one book graded here. But for right now, I'm trying to narrow down to the books that should be graded based upon, really how things are as far as my overall PC is. So all these other ones I could hold off on. Even and then we got the Black and Gold number 1, which was the New York Comic Con 2021, which was the Frank Cho variant that could be sent off here. Let's see, Superman, Wonder Woman from New 52 number 1. I think I could hold off on that. This is what, Jenny Frison. I believe this is the Jenny Frison Future State Wonder Woman 1. Probably going to be on the back burner for a bit here. Wonder Girl number 1 could be on the back burner. Sensation Comics number 1 featuring Wonder Woman. Wonder Girl 1. I believe I have a few of these already graded, so this could be on the back burner, I think. No, that's the wrong series. Okay, I have a 9.6 of this one already, so I don't have to worry about that one. And then I have a 9.8 of this one already. And I'm not going to worry about the black cover version of this. That's what's in this one here. If you guys are interested here, of what's really up in here. That is the harder to find black Kendrick Lim variant C. So, like I said, these are things that, like I said, more so for doing what I need to do here. New Guys number 3, which is a barter cover I'm not going to worry about. The Marvel team ups, that's something that I could just put back up in storage here. And when I say Marvel team ups, this is I got a couple of copies of Marvel Team Up Spider-Man and She-Hulk issue number 107. I have one that is direct and one that is a newsstand that is in pretty good condition that could be held off on. I believe I could find a better copy of She-Hulk, Savage She-Hulk number 25, which is the last issue. This one has a few ticks on it. I could hold off on that. The Marvel 2-in-1 Thing in the She-Hulk 88. I know I have a couple of those here. She-Hulk, Sensational She-Hulk number 1. I gotta take a closer look at that one because I have to make certain that if I send it in, it has to be greater than what I already sent in. And none of these are really like truly like replacing the stuff that I already got graded. It's just more along the lines of just rather have it done than not done, because all the ones that I've been either giving away or selling off, it's going to be what it is anyway. And yes, I have sold a lot of Sensational She-Hulk ones, and I still have a few. Well, I have a 9.4. I have a 9.4 of it already graded, so I have to make certain that this is graded in a 9.4. Yeah, I did get rid of that 5.5, so yeah, I still have the 6.5 and the 9.4. So, and then with the issue 15, which is the first time that she becomes gray, that is also a 9.6. So the only thing that I really need to worry about here, oh, this is newsstand though. I'm going to send that in just to make certain here. And then we got another copy of the Hip Hop number 1 for Hulk Volume 3. And I think I have like a 9. It was like the one that I still kept is a 9.4. Or do I still have both of them? I have a 7.5 and a 9.4. So this one I might actually try my luck again to see if I could get the 9.8. But that could be on the back burner for right now. I got the original A cover, which I have a 9.4. I'm still not really trying to get a 9.8, but it could wait until I have discretionary money here. Now, this here I'm going to attempt to do anyway, which is the Fantastic Four 275, which is the so-called centerfold cover, centerfold unauthorized pictures of the She-Hulk issue in Fantastic Four. So that's a good one here. And then I got a full set of the Greg Horn She-Hulk ones, which I have to send in. But again, I'm not certain if this is going to be one of those things that's going to be pushed more to the back burner because I got nicer, older stuff here. Just like I have, stuff like a signed Mike Mayhew She-Hulk 1. And I forgot who did this one here, but I got a lot of different variants of a lot of modern She-Hulks here. Even the Liefeld She-Hulk 1, I have to kind of like put on the back burner and everything here. And then the Scotty Young, I know I have a 9. I think I have a 9.8 of this one already. So it'll be just overkill to send it in. Unless people out there are just so much so much of a diehard of a Scotty Young fan that they could kind of sort of twist my arm and making it seem like, oh yeah, it's worthwhile to get. And then I'm still trying to get a 9.8 of this here, but I'll settle for the 9.4 for that one here. And I forgot what this one is, which She-Hulk this one it is. This is the Comics Illuminati Volume 4 She-Hulk 1 that needs to get taken care of. And then we got the variant issue number 22 from She-Hulk, which is one of the few zombie versions of it. That could be put on the back burner for right now. More She-Hulk stuff here. Immortal She-Hulk second printing, number 1. There's a number 9, Avengers 54, which definitely could wait here. Avengers number 1 from, I forgot which volume here. This is Legacy 691, but that's Avengers number 1. That could wait. Avengers 200, one of the worst stories ever. That could wait until a later time to be immortalized in encapsulation. 221. This is where I believe it is Hawkeye and She-Hulk joins the Avengers for the first time here. Well, actually not Hawkeye, but She-Hulk joins for the first time and Hawkeye comes back. So that's Avengers 221. That could be up there here. Now, I have to find myself really scrutinized between all of these here. I did send one of these, a 227 in. 227 is the first time that Monica Rambeau joins the Avengers and everything. I did send one in and I ended up getting I think it's like an 8.0, I believe. So I might have to scrutinize these a little bit closer here. I could tell you in a second. And I'm just up here. It's like maybe I'm missing, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I'm missing something here because not a lot of people was like saying, oh, you might want to send that. Oh, you might not want to send that one here. And I don't have it listed. Oh, okay. I might have to go to the actual, to my actual slab to figure out what I have here. But I got about 5 more of them. I just need to, figure out which one here, but I could hold off on it. Just like, now this one, I know if many people have copies of this here, I should go ahead and do it, but there it is. First Rogue, Avengers Annual number 10. That should be done, a little bit sooner than later. It's not in the best of qualities, but, best of condition here, but, it is what it is here. And then see some of the other stuff that I got up in here. What is this? I forgot what this is. Oh yeah, this is another She-Hulk 1. That's another She-Hulk 1. That's another Sensational She-Hulk 1. Then we got Marvel Spotlight 23, which is immaculate. A nice copy of First Spider-Woman. I might be able to do better than the grade that I got here. And then for those who are fans of Captain Marvel, not Marvel Captain Marvel, but DC's Captain Marvel, I got Shazam number 1, which I might also be sending in. And then Conan number 59, which is First Bellet, I should be sending in here. And I still have things such as Where Creatures Roam number 1. I mean, I do have a lot of older school books like Tiger Girl number 1, which is like a one-off here. This is the only solo appearance of Tiger Girl. Tiger Girl appeared in, I want to say, Jumbo Comics a couple of times here. We got copies of Barbie 1 and Barbie Fashion number 1, which should be sent in soon. And then I got to figure out which one of these two giant sized creatures, number one, which is that true first appearance of Tigra, to send in. And then I got Jaguar number one, which is, it's up there, but it's not like one of those things that has to be like sent in immediately. Then we got what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to send in that Prudent Caution number one, because that was signed by Chris Claremont. Get it actually authenticated and everything, but have to have that here. Spider-Man 156, the actual death of Peter Parker in Ultimate Spider-Man. That was one that I was going to hold off on. Hulk 441, signed by Peter David. I probably have to get that authenticated soon. So I do have books that I need to get authenticated here, but I know I already know I got a Hulk 441 already graded, and that was graded as a, what did it get graded as? That I got a 9.8 of that here, so pretty much it would be like whatever the signature is here. Plus, I have another extra one just to send in here. The same thing with Gotham City Sirens here. I already have one that came in at 9.8, but I definitely need to send in the second printing here, because for some reason I don't understand why the second printing is fetching more money than the first printing, but I do have to at least send in the second print. And then I do have to send in where I consider one of those books that I consider like my precious. Catwoman 51, one of the books that have been completely homaged several times here. One of Adam Hughes' greatest creations here. I know that this has been homaged several times over, but I definitely have to send that in. And we got a first printing of Young Avengers number one, and the director's editions, 2 copies of the director's editions. One of those, at least the first printing have to go in here. Then we got Red Sonja number one that I'm thinking about sending in here. And then we got the other, this is volume 2 of Red Sonja number one. This was the 2-issue series here. And then I have to think about, am I going to get the movie editions sent in here? Now, Devil Dinosaur would be more on reason why I was in this in, just for preservation purposes, just to say that I have it in this state and try to get it graded in a particular condition here. And then we got a Howard the Duck number one that I've been trying to keep as best as possible to send in. So I was thinking, a lot of books to think about here. I mean, Beware the Claws of the Cat 2 and 3. I do have a cat number one already done. I was thinking about doing the whole series 2, 3, 4, and 5, but I could hold off on that here. We got things such as Doc Savage number one that could go in. That could go into CGC here. 2001 Space Odyssey number one. I mean, we got a good mixture of books that I just have to figure out what need to be preserved first and which ones are not. Gen 13 one. And then we got Eclipse Comics Axes number one and number two. These are definitely out of print and hard to get. And then we got a couple of polybag versions of Static number one. 2 polybag versions of Static 1. I got a hardware number one that we can send in. And then I got a couple of Icon number ones here. One is the polybag one, as well as the regular A cover number one for Icon. So we got one of both here. And then we get into like some of the more of the modern stuff. Oh, there's the cat number 2. So there that is. Here is another copy of Wonder Woman 1, the George Perez one. This one just seems like this one's a little bit dirtier than the other one, but I'll make that judgment call here. And then we got 2 House of Slaughter 1s. So 2 House of Slaughter number 1s. I don't know what printing these are here, but I know people are going goo goo gaga over House of Slaughter. I just find the story behind the house is interesting, but not something that keeps my attention to collect the series here. And then we got F Fairyland number 1 that we could send in too. But that's on the kind of like on the back burner of stuff here. I mean, like I said, we got some classic stuff that we can send in, some more newer stuff that we can send in. I mean, it's a lot to choose from. You know, Storm number 1 from the Greg Pak run, which was very, very good. Lobo number 1, I believe this is from volume 2 of Lobo. Batman Beyond, I think this is from volume 3. Black Panther number 1. And then those who like older stuff here, there's a West Coast Avengers number 1 that we can send in. Doom Patrol number 1 from the Young Animals side of things here. Something that I would like to preserve is also Thing number 1. And then we got a pretty good copy of Sal Buscema's Spectacular Spider-Man 200. And here is a X-Force number 1 with the actual Deadpool card. But they don't care about the Deadpool card here. Here is Spawn number 9, First Angela. And again, I'm really thinking about what to be sent and what not to be sent here. 2-in-1 Annual number 7. The first time that Thing fights the champion of the universe, it almost wins. And I got a Star Wars 1. Again, just being sent in for preservational purposes. It's not in the best condition here, but it's something that a lot of people, you know, swoon over having that book here. And then I have a Marvel No Prize book number 1, which to me is kind of like, that's more of a nostalgic type deal, to the reason why I want to get that graded more so than anything else. Here we go. Champions number 1. That's on the block to get graded. And then on top of that here, I have to take a good look at these here. These are Hulk 168. I already have a 6.5. I graded one and got one that is a 6.5. I'm trying to get one that's greater than a 6.5. If I do, then I will be happy. And the reason I want to get one greater than a 6.5, because this is technically the first She-Hulk. When Betty becomes the Harpy for the first time, that is technically a prototype for the She-Hulk here. But it is what it is here. And then I also have a copy of 169, which is the second appearance of the Harpy that I was up here thinking about getting graded as well. The first and second appearances of the Harpy. Then we got 215. I don't know why I have 215 up in here. I don't know what the actual significance of issue 215. Let me see here. No, it has no significance whatsoever. I don't even know why it's up in the box and up in this box for being graded here. And I do have a Challengers 45 here, which is pretty decent. Challengers 45. This is, I believe, is the first appearance of Multi-Woman. And then I am so happy that this one is pretty nice here. Mr. Miracle #1. The very first Mr. Miracle #1 issue here. Then I got a very good copy of X-Men Annual #9. The first time Storm becomes like the goddess of thunder, is pretty much has the powers of Thor. We got Spider-Gwen #1. I know that went down in popularity in a lot of things here. Another Scotty Young, Spider-Man 1. You know, again, not on my upper echelon list of getting graded, to be quite honest with you here. Uncanny X-Men 171. Rogue joins the X-Men. Dazzler #1. I know a lot of people have been looking for Dazzler books. The Question #1. A lot of people was looking for that here. This is I believe this is Wonder Woman 77 meets Bionic Woman, either #1 or #2. I believe it's 1. I'm double checking something here. Just bear with me for a couple more moments here. That is issue 2, the C cover issue #2. So that could be on the back burner here. New Mutants #1 from volume 4, I believe. Jane Foster and the Mighty Thor. I believe this is a Peach Momoko variant. Okay, so now it's like you're seeing a lot of stuff that I have to choose from. Spider-Woman #1. And this is Spider-Woman #1 as well, I believe. That's the Alex Ross. Then I have the Hopeless cover 19 of 32 that he signed of Spider-Woman #5, authenticated by Dynamic Forces. So that's another signed book that I have to spend money to make certain that it gets authenticated. Superboy #2, first cover appearance of Knockout. Inhumans #1. That's the old school Inhumans. Wonder Woman 163. And people are going to look at me. It's like, well, what's the significance of 163? This is the origin of Giganta retold. And it's not the same as Wonder Woman #9, which I already own here, which is already graded here. And when I say Wonder Woman #9, we're talking about Wonder Woman #9 from 1940s. But this is the retelling. In 163, they retold the origin of Giganta in this one. Two and 154. A lot of first appearances, first grapplers during the time of Project Pegasus. So this is the first time that we see Songbird from the Thunderbolts. We see Pound Cake, Letha, Titania 1, Davida Devoto, which is not the same as Mary McPherson, but that was the first Titania. And I forgot there was a couple other first appearances in here. And then, you know, some weird art books that could wait. And the reason I say some weird art books because I can't show the second one, The one that's behind here, it is a Wonder Woman book, but it is not safe for work. And I think that's pretty much the whole bin, minus some other stuff here, which is, not books that I could rarely show because I don't really own them, but I know some person wanted me to go ahead and get them graded for them. Oh, I forgot about this one. What significance of this book here? Is this just a Randall's Amazing Spider-Man book? It's like Mysterio is on the cover of this Amazing Spider-Man. I just don't know what the significance of this one is. And it looks like I could probably get a better copy of it here. Yeah, there is a significance here. Oh, first clone of Gwen Stacy. That's what this one is. Spider-Man 142. So pretty much those are all the books that I got trying to narrow down to maybe somewhere between 5 to 10 to actually try to send in here. Now, yeah, that's a daunting task here, considering that some of the books I have already gotten graded and other stuff that I could hold off on. I mean, books that I definitely was holding off on, like Wonder Woman #1 foil facsimile. I could hold off on that because that's not the original. That's a facsimile. I could care less. But most of the stuff that's in this pile right here sitting in front of me, I know I could probably hold off on for a bit. So I'm going to go back through them one at a time here and think out loud with you guys here. So, give me your guys' opinion as I think here. Gwen Stacy clone, I could probably hold off on. The 2 art books, I could probably hold off on. First cover appearance of Knockout, I could hold off on that. I'm not no real rush to preserve those the way that I need to preserve them here. The Alex Ross, I'm going to move over here, but the A cover I'm going to put back into the bin here. Jane Foster one, putting it back. New Mutants one, putting it back. Wonder Woman 77 meets Bionic Woman #2, putting it back. Surprisingly enough, I'm putting back the 171, the X-Men 171, only because I know I got multiple copies of that. I don't need to rush to get that one done. Spider-Man 1, I'm putting back. Spider-Gwen, I'm putting back. This Hulk book shouldn't even been there. You're definitely putting back. Spectacular Spider-Man. I mean, your guys' thoughts on it. I don't know, but for now, I'm putting it back in the bin pile, and if I hit the lottery or something, then it would be like, yeah, we definitely sending it in. Young Animals Doom Patrol 1, putting it back in. West Coast Avengers, putting it back in. This version of Black Panther 1, putting it back in. The Batman Beyond, putting it back in. Lobo 1, putting it back in the bin. Same with the Storm 1. Same with the Fuck Fairyland #1. So those are back in the bin. House of Slaughter. Again, now will be another one for the opinion poll here, but I'll put it back in the bin for right now. Cat 2 through 4, we're putting back in the bin for right now. Death of Ultimate Spider-Man, we're putting it back in the bin. The Avengers 281, which was kind of like a nice little She-Hulk cover, not going to worry about right now. The Monica Rambeau, I believe, was an 8.5. We put that over here for right now. She-Hulk joins the Avengers. We're putting back. Worst story ever. putting back. Modern Avengers #1, putting back. The Liefeld, we're putting back. She-Hulk 9, we're putting back. Immortal She-Hulk second printing, we're putting back. The 22, we're putting back. I think I could find a better copy of that one, so we're putting it back. This can wait. So can that one, which is the Liefeld one. Wait. I gotta make a special pile for that one because that has a signature on it. The Greg Horn ones can wait. We're gonna wait on that. We're gonna wait on that one. That goes into that pile for right now. The 2-in-1s, going to wait. The 25, I believe I could find a better copy without the ticks around the staples. The team up ones we're going to put back in the bin. So all of these we're going to put back in the bin here. And I know I'm probably pissing off a lot of people who was like, the hobby should fund itself. Yeah, go ahead and keep believing that. You're gonna pull your hair out and worry and everything from bad decisions here. The Wonder Girl ones I'm going to hold off on. And what else was this here? Oh yeah, that was the New Gods 3. We're gonna hold off on the Wonder Girl, at least that version of Wonder Girl here. We're going to hold off on the Sensational, hold off on that Wonder Girl, hold off on the Future State Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, not Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman 1. We're going to hold off of the Wonder Woman Special #2. We're going to hold off of. Then these older ones here, we're going to hold off on. And when I say older ones, we got some old school I Ching Wonder Woman's here. I think this is 180, 181, and 192. We're going to hold off on the Rebirth Wonder Woman's first and second printing. We're going to hold off on, plus the year one. All of that we're going to hold off on. So I think we're getting through most of the pile here and knocking it down. Okay, Catwoman #1, Volume 5, holding off on. Catwoman #1, Volume 4, we're holding off on. I'm going to put Volume 2 in this pile for right now, and then the issue 0 we're putting back. Bombshells United 1, we're putting back. This version of Black Panther, both Scotty Young covers, we're putting back. Nubia and the Amazons, we're putting back in the bin. The Bruce Timms and the Finch Batman Catwoman we're putting back here. The Daredevils we are putting back as well. Because I could hold off on that. The Ren and Stimpy we're putting back. The Female Furies we're putting back. The Scotty Young Storm 1 we're putting back. So that we got through most of that pile. And that leaves us with the first Red Sonja and the Wonder Woman 1s, which again I have to figure out what we're going to do here. Now, moving stuff from over here to the small pile here. Catwoman 1, again, I'm still thinking about here. That is the Sensational She-Hulk 1. That has a signature, authenticated signature, so I have to think about that as far as authentication is concerned here. Do I send in another 227? I will hold off on first Monica Rambeau. I'll hold off on that one, for at least for now, because I already got one graded. I don't need to get a whole bunch of them graded. The Alex Ross, I said that we're going to try to do. The 154, we're going to try to do. The second retelling of Giganta, we will hold off on. Inhumans 1, we will hold off on for right now. This one, the 19 of 23, signed by Hopeless, that goes into the signed authenticated pile here. Question 1, hold off on. Dazzler 1. As much as people specking on that book, I'm going to hold off on it. I'm going to put the Storm in 2B, Miracle 1 in the 2B, the Challengers in the Send. I'm going to hold off on the Harpy, on doing the Harpy issues. So we're putting that back in the bin. So the bin is filling back up here while we getting smaller piles to kind of condense into even smaller piles from there. Champions 1 I'm going to put back. The No Prize we're putting back. As much as I hate to do it, putting back the Star Wars in the bin. The thing where it the fights the champion of the universe, I'm putting back. First Angela, I'm going to put into the degraded bin. And I'm reluctantly putting that in because I've been putting that off for the longest here. X-Force 1, putting it in the back in the bin. Thing 1, I'm putting back in the bin. The 2 icons here, I'm putting back in the bin. Hardware 1, I'm putting back in the bin. The statics, I'm doing the exact same thing here. So now, AXA 1 and 2. Let's put it over here for the meanwhile. I just need to narrow everything down to a smaller contingency. Gen 13 1 could go back. The Gen 13, the 2001 could go back. Doc Savage, I'm putting back. Howard is looking like it could be a 8.5. Let's put Howard over here. Devil Dinosaur, no. This Red Sonja, no. But this Red Sonja, possibly. Young Avengers 1, yes. The director's cuts, putting back in the bin. Catwoman 51, yes. Gotham City Sirens, second printing, yes. First print, no. Okay, the 441, the regular 441, we're putting back in the bin because I got a 9.8 of it already. I'm not trying to do that. But this one with Peter David signature goes into the signature pile. The same thing with Prudence and Caution. The one that has Chris Claremont signature goes into the signature pile. And the rest goes back into the B graded bin. I believe that this is Sensational She-Hulk. Jaguar 1. Let me think about that one. I'm going to put this version of creatures, giant-sized creatures over here into the to be graded pile, and the one that has the color breaks in and back into the grade later. Jaguar, I'm going to sit over there for a second here. The Barbies, I am not sending in just right away, even though I need to send those in. Tiger Girl, I'm going to hold off on. Where Creatures Roam, we're holding off on that. First Bellet into the grade pile. Shazam 1 to be graded. Marvel Spotlight 32 to be graded. Avengers Annual 10 to be graded. This She-Hulk one we're going to put back into the bin. Fantastic Four 275 we're putting in the bin here. Still, I need to figure out She-Hulk 15. Sensational She-Hulk 15 again. That's a 9.6. Okay, let me do this. We put that there for right now. The Wonder Woman Black and Gold, not going. Rebirth number 1, second printing and first printing, not going this time around. Wonder Woman New 52, not this time around. These two are already got a 9.8 of that here. Legends of Wonder Woman, I'm going to hold off on. Hold off on. Hold off on. I'm sending. 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 I want to send this. So I got a lot of stuff in my to be sent pile. And then the Spider-Man is what I'm questioning now. So the to be sent stuff is now down to a pile like that. This to be have the signatures authenticated is down to a pile like that here. So I got 2 stacks now. And I got to figure this thing out here. And for a greater reason here, it seems like a lot of people have just given up on me on trying to help me figure out this thing here. Everybody keeps saying, why? Because we can. There's something to do. You know, if you're not into graded books, that's perfectly fine. You know, at least come out and say it's like, hey, you know, I believe we keep them raw. But when you have multiple raw copies of it, at that point, it doesn't matter anymore to me. It really doesn't here. So I'm trying to keep like things together here. So these are the 2 sensational She-Hulks here. Okay. Conan 23. I definitely need to send that. As soon as possible. Wonder Woman 1. I could hold off here. Sensational She-Hulk 1. I could kind of put that on the to be thought about pile. Catwoman 1 to be thought about. Spider-Man 1, same thing. The Film Force 1 is that one. I want something greater here. Doom Patrol 121. See, I don't like that top edge here. And I'm hoping that once I clean it and get it pressed, that will work out. So the Wonder Woman 209. The Marvel Spotlight. The Creatures. Now, the second thing I also have to do, I have to separate between modern and vintage, because that also going to play a factor too. because a lot of the older stuff that I want that I'm just already separating and putting off to the side. And I was like, I'm noticing that a lot of it is vintage, and I'm not going to be able to send everything like right here, right now. Okay. The things that I'm quite certain about, and this is probably where I'm going to kind of like shut things down at, as far as where we're at, as far as where to go and where I'm going with everything and as a whole here. But whether you're watching it now or watching it on the replay, let me know your opinion, because if you saw books that I have pulled out that should go, give me a reason why they should go before some of these other ones here. But the ones that I definitely have a strong opinion about sending now is the Young Avengers 1, the Marvel 2-in-1 54, Mr. Miracle #1, Challengers of the Unknown 45, the Howard the Duck #1, Red Sonja #1, Gotham City Sirens 2nd print, Catwoman 51, Giant Size Creatures 1, Marvel Spotlight 32, another copy of Wonder Woman 206, Doom Patrol 121, Film Force 1, and the Conan 23. That's in the must go here. And now in this smaller stack here, I might cut it down based upon how much money is available when I go to C2E2 to get this done. And this still does not take in consideration of these 4 books here, which have signatures on it. So we still have the Prudence and Caution #1 signed by Chris Claremont, the Peter David signed Incredible Hulk 441, the Hopeless signed Spider-Woman #5, and the Mike Mayhew She-Hulk 1. So we got those 4 to also think about as a whole here. But nevertheless, we still got books to send to CGC. Now, I'm not a person to say send all your books, always get your books graded. No, you make your own decision here. I just hope that this was kind of fun, because of the simple fact that if I get to discuss which books I was thinking of sending in and having a discussion that way here with you guys would be a little bit fun to do for like a actual episode. But it seems like, we didn't have enough people wanting to conversate and talk and this, that, and the other. So if you're watching the replay, you see the books that I brought up here, shoot out your opinion. I'm willing to listen. Shoot out your opinion. I'm not one of those people to be like, oh, you're wrong about this, that, and the other. And I know I have some books up in here that makes people go like, why you want to get that graded? That's not what hot in the streets right now. And it's like, I don't always go for what's hot in the streets here, but I go based upon what I have in my collection and what I enjoy more so than anything else. And I am not if I could say, a believer in the whole let the hobby fund itself. There's going to be certain things that you're just going to have to be selfish about your own personal collection. And when you're that way, you're going to make some decisions as far as, well, even though said book over here that I have may be worth a lot more money on the secondary market, it does not mean as much to me like a Amazing Spider-Man 248. Stuff like that comes into play here. And if you believe in keeping your books raw, just be mindful that these are not the only copies that I'm sending to CGC 9 times out of 10. There's a handful of times where I am sending the only one that I own, but in a lot of cases, this is more along the lines, this is like a second or third copy that I know that is like, I need to get preserved here. Like, for example, this is the only copy of First Red Sonja that I have. So yeah, this is going to be like one of the utmost, like, yeah, I got to send it to keep it pristine right here and right now. Other books, like for example, the Challengers. This is not the only copy that I have. Howard the Duck #1, not the only one. Red Sonja 1, not the only one. So it's kind of like one of those scenarios here. So, you know, I'm kind of, and the reason I'm bringing it up because I'm kind of nipping in the bud the argument about, you know, raw versus graded here, keeping everything on a even playing field. The majority of the books that I'm showing you here, I have multiple copies of. So it's not like I'm losing anything if I get one graded because I still have one to read, or 2 or 3 that's still wrong. It is what it is here. But saying that to say here, I always enjoy other people's opinion when it comes to what do you guys think about, you know, getting graded, or which books would you have sent to get graded based upon what I have set aside for getting graded. Do you always get your signed books graded? Now, 9 times out of 10, I typically don't, but you know, like I said, I have a couple that this is like my last Chris Claremont signed book here. And now since they did authentication here, I got a couple of slabs that I need to send back to get Claremont signatures authorized or authenticated to go from blue or green label over to the yellow with the designation that it has been authenticated. But you know, that's discretionary money, extra money that I can say, you know what, I don't care, you know, if it goes towards grading, even though I could use it for other stuff. I don't care that it goes towards authenticating a graded slab. That's the thing here. My whole goal is not to break the budget here. So that's the reason why I'm going through this Sterilite bin again. And I'm going, you know, do I need it now? Can I do it later? I like this more so than I like that. This is, you know, to me is great, has greater value to me in my personal collection as far as my opinion, not for monetary value. So those are the types of things that I was looking at here. And I hope that the process that I'm going through here live with you help you if you decide to go ahead and get things graded. Now, mind you, if you are doing this based upon letting the hobby fund yourself, don't do it this way. You would definitely need to pull up things such as GP analysis, pull up Go Collect, look at the values of the conditioning of the books here. If you could pull a 9.8 and it brings up the value of that book, so be it. In my case, I'm going for preservation. And when you go for preservation, you don't have to worry about whether or not the value of the book goes up or anything to that magnitude. What I'm more worried about is, am I getting if it comes back a better copy here, that is great. If it doesn't, then it's also all right because I still got a few extra ones that I can still read here. I'm always trying to put my best book forward to get graded because I'm trying to preserve it. Now, just to preserve one copy of it is okay, you know, but you know, knuckleheads like me who have like 5 or 6 graded Savage She-Hulks #1s who still don't have a 9.8. I think the best one I have right now is like a 9.4. And I think that 9.4 is the newsstand one. But saying all that to say here is that, you know, you roll the dice. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But I still have a raw copy of Savage She-Hulk #1. I have a Marvel Masterworks book that has, you know, Savage She-Hulk #1. I have a volume of Women of Marvel that still have, you know, Savage She-Hulk #1. So I'm not missing out on anything by having that many graded. Will I eventually sell 1 or 2 of them? Probably. It's not that big of a deal to me, but you know, you keep your personal collection the way that you feel your personal collection is best here. So on that note, I'll let you guys go for the week here. Thank you for watching. Make certain that you like and subscribe here. And for those who are watching on the replay, leave your comments. I will respond back, if you have very thoughtful comments as far as which books I should get graded over others, or tell me more about your process of getting your stuff graded when it's not based upon monetary value or having the hobby fund itself, because I'm curious. I'm more curious about, do we always, go after the books that we were the most fond of, or do we always grade the books that of the titles that we love the most here? In my case, I'm not doing strictly all Wonder Woman books or strictly all X-Men books or strictly all She-Hulk books. This is a random mixture of a lot of different stuff that I have throughout my whole collection here. Some stuff I might have had graded once before, other stuff I have not. But as you can see, I have a great, wide variety of different titles outside of the books that I just mainly love here. So I'll be looking forward to see your guys' thoughts here. Until next time, live life, grow, and be well. And we are out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And thank you for watching from the desk of a small press publisher. Have a good evening.